I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. On Monday, New York City Mayor Eric Adams blasted Texas Governor Greg Abbott for sending migrants to New York City. Adams said that between 50 and 100 migrants were arriving in his city each day and continued to pledge to support any border crossers who arrive in New York. He assailed Texas's Republican governor, calling his actions inhumane, mean, and cruel. Adams has claimed for weeks that Texas sending migrants to New York is politically motivated and unfair, while local critics have criticized the handling of the migrant crisis. Some have claimed the migrants have not received the services they deserve under New York's right to shelter laws, while others have opposed policies that they say will turn the Big Apple into a magnet for illegal immigrants.
Can we talk about the migrant situation? What is the status now? Where have you found places for all of them, and what do you think about this program?
First, I'm not quite sure how you got that headline this morning, because in our conversation yesterday, no one said that migrants didn't come here because they didn't feel safe. We were very clear. The misleading information that was coming out of Texas, people thought when they got off the buses they were going to be arrested or apprehended. And I think that the Governor Abbott, what he's doing is just so inhumane. And we were happy to have a mayor who greeted the asylum seekers instead of placing them on a bus with a 44-hour ride, very few breaks, no food, no direction, and clear information. It was a good job with the coordination of volunteers and what our office did in the morning. And so our goal is every asylum seeker that comes to New York, we are going to get them shelter and support that they need.
Mayor, you were speaking about resources. What specifically are you asking from the federal government? What specific number when it comes to financial aid? I also heard that you guys are providing hotel rooms for asylum seekers, just hoping to clarify with that. And have you spoken to Schumer or any of our other federal partners about the assistance needed for the city?
Yes, we have a call set up with the White House. They want to help. They made it clear they want to give us the assistance that we need. Our team, and I will be on that call. We're going to brief our congressional delegation to share what we need. Our Deputy Mayor of Human Services is doing a complete analysis of what's needed and what the dollar and the price tag. This is a moving configuration right now because we're averaging roughly anywhere could be from a number to 50 a day to 100 a day. And so until we can wrap our heads around that exact number, we have to go with an estimate, but we need the resources to assist. When it comes down to hotels, we have a requirement and a mandate by law as being a right to shelter city. We have a requirement to house within a period of time, and we're going to use every available means to do so. And that is what we're doing, and we're living up to that mandate.
Just in terms of, I know you said it's an estimate at this point, I think, so we don't know how many have arrived so far, and going forward, what does it look like? How often and how many people are going to be arriving from Texas?
Well, the governor of Texas has made it clear what we always knew he was doing. He finally acknowledged he is shipping people who have traveled for months, packing them on buses, and sending them to New York. Our social services agency will give you the exact amount, but we're talking about thousands that are here and that we're providing services for. What also was extremely revealing yesterday is that there were some who wanted to go to other cities where they have families, and they just packed them on a bus without any direction. And we learned that many people had to be reticketed. They wanted to go somewhere else, but they just specifically targeted New York, they being the governor of Texas. It's just a mean and cruel thing that he's doing. Someone seeking refuge from leaving a horrific environment, and this is how we're treating them. in Texas, not the people of Texas, but the governor of Texas. But that's not who we are as New Yorkers.
What's your message to him, to Governor? I assume you haven't spoken to him. What's your message to him?
Be a true American. This is a place where the Statue of Liberty sits in the harbor, and we say, bring us your tide. Those who are yearning to be free. That's what these asylum seekers are doing. And I don't think anything is more anti-American than shipping people on a bus, 45-hour trip, without any of the basic needs that they have, or direction or coordination. Coordination. We have no idea the number of people. We have no idea of where their final destinations are. He's just totally disregarding the human part of this. There's a humanitarian part of being an American, and I think that there's nothing more anti-American than what he's displaying right now.
To use yesterday's bus arrival as kind of a microcosm of the situation at large, the one that you were at, where only 14 got off. Where did the others get off? Where were they expected to go? And where are the shelters that take the 14 and whoever else arrives at the city?
Well, we do not place people in shelters based on their demographic, their ethnicity, or their need. We give shelter, and wherever there's an available bed, we give the shelter for that. And out of just the right to some form of decency and privacy, we're not going to pinpoint and say this asylum seeker went to this shelter. That is not what we're going to do. From my understanding, the question about where did they get off, the lack of coordination with the bus, they're not parking in the Port Authority. And so we don't know what trips were made, what stops were made along the way. And so if you are dropping people off along the way in a new country, and you may not have full understanding of the language, it's just inhumane. At least if we know how to coordinate this, we can provide the services like we did. The commissioner of our immigrations, the commissioner and our other commissioners were there. We can coordinate better instead of having people brought to the city without any support.
Okay. And the ones that got off the bus in New York, where did they get the tickets? Because I believe some of them then left the city.
There were some amazing partners there who were identifying those who needed to be reticketed, and they were assisting. And our goal is to bring them into our shelters. Some did not. Some were able to be reticketed and went to new locations. But our goal is to give people in shelters, have the intake, do a complete analysis of their needs, and then, as much as we can, accommodate those needs.
Can you say the new locations they went to?
No, I don't know. They had those one-on-one conversations with them.
Hey, Mr. Mayor. Again on the asylum seeker issue. Last Friday, you said you were talking to the administration. You kind of said before that you guys have been in talks, your administration and theirs, Biden's. Why is it taking so long to get an answer? And on the resources question, I understand it's funding you're seeking from the federal government, but are you also seeking resources like the National Guard? Are there other things specifically that the city's determined it needs to kind of address the situation?
We are at the point where we are managing this crisis. When I always say we pivot and shift based on the needs that are in front of us, but we know we're not going to wait until it's unmanageable. Right now it's at a serious state. We know that we have a homeless crisis in the city, and right now we're at a state where we must get the assistance from the federal government. On Friday, the teams were speaking on a lower level, and now we're going to have a higher level conversation with the White House, and they have appear to be extremely receptive to the needs, and they see what's happening in the city, and we're looking forward to those conversations. Okay.
Do you have a sense of when you might have a final answer from the White House on it?
I believe the call is today, but as soon as we do, we're gonna let you know. Thank you. Thank you all.